Hi everyone, thanks for stopping by, and it's good to see you all. Well, I wish I could see you, and I can't see you, and I can't see anybody. I can see myself. Oh man, it just gets worse all the time. Don't get old. Hope I die before I get old. But those old geezers are still around, right? Roger Daltrey's still around. Pete Townshend's still around. Anyway, I'm going off on a tangent, as I am wont to do from time to time, to escape the seriousness of the danger that we're all in, the black hole of extinction we're facing, the political extremism, you know the story, just the normal day-to-day stuff that we're living with here in the early 21st century. As we undo the progress made throughout the 20th century, we will return back to the 19th century before everything just blows up, because we can do it. Humans can do it. Yes, we've mastered, masters of the universe have discovered how to split the atom, and I guess 70 years ago, and I'm still waiting for them to drop the big one, and it's looking more and more like that might be the extinction of humans, or it will be a slow, torturous downward spiral, such as we're experiencing now. So we're going to go through a very dark period in all our lives, and we're going to need each other to be friends, to help out, to look after each other, because nobody else is going to do it. You can hide yourself away in a bunker and just wait for the end to come, which is similar to what I am doing here at Armpit Studios in London, Ontario. And you can, though, express compassion, neighborliness, all those forgotten things that make life worthwhile. Everything is just unbelievably screwed up when you have the illegitimate Supreme Court in the country directly to the south of me. It's frightening. It's frightening that they are passing this horrendous legislation, taking rights away, making people carry guns around in New York City. What could go wrong? The gutting of the EPA. Oh, there's a good idea. Let's just torch this place. This is what happens when people don't pay attention to what's going on, and people don't really understand the implications of things like voting and being a decent human being. And the constant drone and hypnosis of corporate propaganda that permeates the airwaves, no matter, you can't get away from it. You can try, I guess you can turn off all your media, and maybe it would be better. Life, I think, might be better if we read more books. And I go onto Twitter and I see, okay, what's the latest outrage of the day? And there's always something to be outraged about, because life is becoming completely outrageous. So we're on track for another record hot summer. Boy, isn't that exciting. What a wonderful world we live in, isn't it? It's so exciting to watch everything burn up and flood. And then, of course, you've got Lake Mead out in the west coast of America, dry as a bone. And so what's going to happen? They're going to drain the Great Lakes to send it down there? I don't know what's going to go on. It's really quite horrendous. And yet, hey, let's just keep burning that fossil fuel like there's no tomorrow, because there will be no tomorrow if we keep burning the fossil fuels. But there's no changing. There's no changing. There's no sense of urgency, of desperation. Not when people are making huge amounts of money extracting the Earth's lifeblood and poisoning it, everything and everybody. No, that's fine. It's just business as usual. And the business is the earth's destruction for profit. Because what do you care? You're going to be dead soon anyway. A bunch of old farts that are running things or pretending to run things. Why is it that the worst narcissists, the most heinous people on the face of the earth, end up pretending to be leaders? And this has always made me curious as to what type of person. You see, I don't want power over any other human being. I have never wanted power over another human being, and I resent those people who try and force their point of view down my throat. I don't care what somebody else does unless it affects somebody's rights. If they start taking their rights away, well, I'll fight for it. I'll fight them for it. But I've always resented people with an authoritarian personality, and I've always been a rebel. It goes back to my high school days when I had this Catholic teacher that was yelling at me and telling me I was going to go to hell. She was my French teacher, and I criticized something that she had said in English because it was mispronounced, and she just flew off the handle and said, you are going to hell when you die. Well, and so, of course, me being just the sarcastic son of a bitch that I've always been, said, oh, so now you've appointed yourself God. And I got in a whole lot of trouble for that one. That's when my teenage years were nothing but getting into trouble in one way or another. And I'm hoping that this coming summer is one for total labor activism, because it's interesting how those at the top are pointing the finger at wage increases. Wages, they have to be held down. I mean, the head of the Federal Reserve was saying this. And in every single case, any settlements that are made are lower than the rate of inflation. In effect, a pay cut. Meanwhile, corporations, oil companies, record profits. They're swimming in cash. They have so much money, they don't know what to do with it. And yet, those in power don't see the need to curtail this whatsoever. Oh no, it's the supply chain, or it's some reason that, when you have to transport goods around the world, and the predominant way of doing it is the only way of doing it is burning tons of fossil fuels, it's a no-win situation, and it's going to get worse. These profiteers sitting at the top do not give a shit. They do not give a shit what they do to this planet. It's been proven time and time again. They'll hire phony scientists to actually still deny that what we see with our own eyes is really going on. No, it's not happening. It's not happening. No, climate changes all the time. Bunch of horse shit. And it's just fed. And people buy into lies because of ignorance. There's no coincidence that the largest number of conservative and GQP people that vote that way are rural people, largely uneducated, no college, and maybe some are high school. I don't know, but and they pick one of themselves to represent them, as in the case of Bo Bobert the other day, winning her primary against somebody, I guess, less drastic, less stupid. That is her, Marjorie Taylor Greene, and all these really stupid people in positions of power is astonishing. Absolutely astonishing. You think the average Joe down the street could be in these positions of power and do a better job than what we have in the West. It seems like the garbage is all we get. The slime, the scum that floats to the top, It just gets worse and worse and worse. Okay, so what am I doing about it? And I guess there's not much any of us can do individually. Collectively, I guess we can. So why am I keeping Vegematic going? It's certainly not for my entertainment. I do enjoy making them, and I once in a while, but it's my only way of getting all this stuff out. This frustration that builds and builds and builds over the past 40, 50 years, really, of watching everything turn to shit. Of repeatedly seeing the worst possible things happening. The worst. You think of the worst person in the world? Let's make him president. Yeah, I think there's a line in a Bob Dylan song that's steal a little and they throw you in jail, steal a lot and they make you king. And that's true. So what can I do about it? I'm keeping Vegematic going as an outlet for my frustration, but I'm not kidding myself that it's going to make the most infinitesimal difference to anybody. Hopefully isn't. I mean, all I do is preach to the converted anyway, and what good is it? What good is anything anymore? It's just gotten so bad, and it's hard to believe. And everywhere people look for somebody to blame. People never look at themselves and say, well, if I'd done this differently, or if I'd done that differently, it doesn't matter. You didn't. We've let things get out of control. We've let the climate get out of control by, somebody else will figure it out eventually. Science will save us. But then they don't listen to science, so I guess science isn't really going to save anybody. And I do sort of draw a kind of spiritual strength from the people that watch these and leave messages and things, and I go, okay, well, I'm doing something. I'm not just taking up space. So what are the answers? There are no answers. There is really very little hope, not much hope at all. I'm sorry to be this kind of downer thing, and being a doomer is being a doomer. You know that things are getting further and further out of control, whether it be war, whether it be climate crisis. No way out from these dilemmas that humans have created. They always say humans are facing the greatest threat. No, they should say humans have created the greatest threat to well-being. Take some responsibility. Isn't that the thing the conservatives are always saying? Personal responsibility? Huh? How about some personal responsibility there? Anyway, aside from that, I guess that's all I have to say for this week. I'm going to try and be a bit more regular in my uploads. It gets depressing. And sometimes you think, why bother? But ultimately, I keep doing it, so I must get something out of it. I'm just trying to figure out what that is. And besides, having met some nice people, and that's very important. It's very important. So, to my friends, a big virtual hug, and to my enemies, maybe I can make you my friends one day. What an evil laugh this little bastard has, eh? See you.